Some of you are waiting for proof before you believe. You're waiting for the results before you have the confidence. But that's not how it works. You don't wait to see it before you believe it. You believe it first, and then you make it happen. Every successful person you admire had to believe before they had anything to show for it. They had to see it in their mind before it became real. And that's what you have to do. You have to stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for validation, and start acting like the person you're trying to become. Because when you start moving different, thinking different, speaking different, that's when your reality starts to change. Your mind is like a muscle. It needs training. It needs repetition. If you spend years telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not going to change that overnight. You have to work on it every single day. You have to speak life into yourself. You have to drown out the doubt, the negativity, the fear, and replace it with belief. You have to affirm your greatness before there's any evidence of it. You have to walk like you've already won before you see the victory. That's how you shift your reality. That's how you go from dreaming about success to living it. You got to start taking control of the way you think. Some of y'all have been programmed to doubt yourself. You grew up hearing negativity, hearing people tell you what you can't do, what's not possible for you, and you let that sink in. You let other people's opinions shape your reality. But at some point, you got to reprogram your mind. You got to take back control. You got to decide that you're not going to let anybody else define your limits, because the truth is, the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Think about it. Two people can be in the same situation, facing the same problem, but one of them sees a way out and the other sees a dead end. Why? Mindset. One of them has trained their mind to look for solutions, to keep pushing, to stay locked in no matter what. The other has trained their mind to accept defeat, to look for excuses, to justify why they can't win. And that difference, that small shift in perspective, is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. What you believe is what you become. If you tell yourself you're average, you're going to stay average. If you tell yourself you don't have what it takes, you're going to prove yourself right. And if you tell yourself success is for other people, that's exactly what it's going to be. Something that happens for everybody except you, because your mind is the filter for everything you experience. It's the gatekeeper. You could have the same opportunity, the same resources, the same 24 hours as someone else, but if you don't believe in yourself, you won't even see the possibilities in front of you. Your mindset dictates your reality. Some of y'all are walking around wondering why nothing is changing, why every day feels the same, why success seems like it's for everybody else but you. It ain't because you're not capable. It ain't because you don't have talent. It's because you don't believe. You don't see yourself as the person who can make it happen. And because you don't believe it, you don't move like it. You don't wake up with urgency. You don't attack your goals. You're sitting back waiting for something to happen, but life doesn't work like that. There's a reason people say, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's not just a cute phrase. It's a reality check. Because your belief system is the steering wheel of your life. If you're driving with self-doubt, with fear, with hesitation, you're never going to reach your destination. But when you take control, when you rewire your mind to expect success, to demand more from yourself, to see struggle as growth instead of failure, that's when everything starts to change. It all starts with what you allow yourself to believe. You have to train your mind the way athletes train their bodies. You don't get strong by lifting weights once. You don't build endurance by running 1 mile. It's consistency. It's repetition. Every single day, you wake up and decide what kind of person you are, what kind of life you're going to live. And if you don't make that decision, the world will make it for you. If you don't take control of your mindset, it will be controlled by your past, by your fears, by other people's opinions. But what happens when you flip that? What happens when you start telling yourself, I am built for this? What happens when you decide that nothing is out of reach, that every setback is just a setup for something bigger? Your mind starts searching for proof of that too. You start seeing opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You start noticing strength where you used to see weaknesses. Your entire reality starts shifting, not because the world changed, but because you changed. On the flip side, some of you have already lost before you've even started. Not because you don't have the talent, not because you don't have the ability, but because you've already told yourself it's impossible. You've already given yourself an out. You say things like, I'm just not that kind of person, or I've never been good at that, or that's not how my life works. And the moment those words leave your mouth, you've sealed your fate because your mind will look for proof. Your brain is wired to confirm what you already believe. If you think you can't, you will find 1,000 reasons why you can't. If you think you're not capable, you will notice every failure, every setback, every struggle as proof that you were right. Look at the most successful people in the world: athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They didn't start at the top. They weren't born with an extra edge that you don't have. What separates them from everyone else is their mindset. They believed in something bigger before anyone else did. They saw themselves as champions, winners, game changers, long before there was any proof. And because they believed it, they worked like it. They carried themselves like it. They trained like it. And eventually, reality had no choice but to catch up. Look at the most successful people in the world: athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They didn't start at the top. They weren't born with an extra edge that you don't have. What separates them from everyone else is their mindset. They believed in something bigger before anyone else did. They saw themselves as champions, winners, game changers, long before there was any proof. And because they believed it, they worked like it. They carried themselves like it. They trained like it. And eventually, reality had no choice but to catch up. What you believe is what you become. It's that simple. If you wake up every morning telling yourself you're not good enough, that life is unfair, that success is for other people, then guess what? You're right. Not because it's some universal truth, but because you've convinced yourself it is. Your mind is the foundation of everything you do. And if that foundation is weak, everything you build on top of it will crumble. Listen up. Some of y'all are out here wondering why your life ain't changing, why success feels like it's slipping through your fingers. It ain't luck, it ain't talent, it's your mindset. The way you think, the way you see yourself, the way you attack your day, that's what separates the winners from the quitters.